Hey, brothers. So I oftentimes get questions sent to me in hopes that I'll make a video about a particular question or subject and whatnot. And so I wanted to do that today. And today I wanted to answer a question by my friend Greg. I'm going to read it to you. It's a little long for me to memorize, so bear with me here a second. Greg says, I'd like to hear about the patience between lovemaking, i.e. the magic moment happened and now I have to wait 3 to 5 weeks again. But it is becoming very regularly 3 to 5 weeks, which isn't great, but we're definitely bonding and getting back to our original dating life again. It's great. I pursue my goals, focus on myself and exercise, but still experience random hours of focusing on her, or why can't she just initiate more? Or why isn't she more into sex? Or why can't she give more? Or why doesn't she like sex? Or does she even think about sex? And just playing games with me. And when these thoughts occur, they're tough to shake. Greg, yeah, I could totally understand your last statement. The thoughts are tough to shake. And so there's a lot of things that you said in your question that I want to address today. I'm going to try to be as concise as possible. But I want you to brace yourself because this is going to pinch a bit. If you're a woman watching this video, you probably already know why it's going to pinch for Greg. And that is because Greg's whole attitude about sex is completely backwards. And so, Greg, what do I mean by that? First, let me just tell you, you're not alone in how you think about this. A fair amount, maybe even the majority of humanity thinks the way you do about sex, and it's a way that's a dead end. And so I don't want you to feel shame. I want you just to pay attention to what I'm saying. Let it percolate down into your innermost being, and we can deal with what comes up in that space as a result. The very first thing that I notice here is that all of your terminology, your description, the whole way you're describing your sex life, Greg, is as a victim or as a recipient. You're the one waiting. Sex is not about getting. And so let me unpack this a little bit for you. When you're talking about it, it's I'm waiting for my wife, right? You're implying that, you need to be patient because she is controlling the tempo and you're waiting for her to initiate. Now, that is just not the way it's supposed to be, but it's the way we get as men when we lose sight of what sexual intimacy is about. We stop seeing it as a way to express our love and desire and connection and intimacy with our partner. Sex is intended for us to be giving something, to give ourselves, right? And really what makes sex the most meaningful between a husband and wife is when a husband is giving himself. He's actually sharing his very essence, his life force, his whole person with his wife, right? And so that is very much a giving energy. It's a penetrating energy. It's an action energy. Everything is from the man outward. And I really want you to pay attention to this, my hands here. It's outward. It's giving from within outward to your partner. The kind of the spiritual energy of a woman then is kind of designed to naturally respond to that. Now, I'm not saying that women shouldn't pursue or they shouldn't initiate, not at all. But I want to really clearly point something out, and that is when our wives are initiating intimacy, either they're doing it because they sense our displeasure and they're tired, quite honestly, of us pouting for weeks on end until we get laid, or they're responding to something that we are being that's good. A woman's initiation is different than a man's initiation in that when the woman initiates, she is still doing so as a form of reacting to her man. And it could be good or bad. Like I said, she might be just reacting to his moping, and that's going to piss her off. Or she could be reacting to his strength, and that's, I think, most women would agree, where they want to be. Now, when we stop initiating and we put all that on them, that frustrates the hell out of a woman, because now she feels obligated and objectified. Now you might say, Sven, I really take issue with you saying I'm objectifying my wife. Well, you kind of said it yourself, that you find yourself randomly sitting for hours, just kind of focus on her. You can't shake it. You can't shake this physicality of hers, and when you're going to get something from that again. See, you're the one that's using her physical sexuality as a tool to get something. And this is where you've got it all backwards. And we get this all backwards as men when we think this way. That is not what sex is about. And furthermore, there's no amount of sex that you could get that's going to solve what you're trying to solve. Now, what is that, Sven, you said? Well, Greg, here's the deal. You don't know who you are. Ouch. Did I really just say that? Yeah, I did. And I said that as an expert in that because I lived a good bit of my own life not knowing who I am. And when we don't know who we are, Greg, what happens is we look to others, or we look to achievement. We could look to any number of things. Some guys look to just killing it at work, making a lot of money, driving a sports car. Other guys look to having hot girls, on their arms. And other men look towards, any form of kind of ongoing sexual interest as evidence that, my worth and value and significance is intact. The problem is they feel like an absolute turd, like you do, when that isn't forthcoming enough, because they're seeing the lack of sexual interest from their wife as an indicator of that their well-being is kind of in question. And again, that's a backwards way of looking at it. We don't find our value, worth, and significance as humans, and certainly not as men, in other people. Not a wife, not a girlfriend, not multiple women, not colleagues, siblings, parents. There is no human being who can tell us who we are. And so when we take that question, that big question mark, to our wives, even if we're not asking them, but we're sitting there waiting, when is she going to answer my question? When is she going to tell me I'm a good little man, right? That's really off-putting and unattractive energy for a man, and a woman wants nothing to do with it. So if she's sleeping with you at all, let's say every 3 to 5 weeks, it's probably out of pity and just to make your moping go away for a while. And again, not trying to be harsh, I'm just trying to tell you what the woman's experience is like. She does not want to be on the hook for your sense of well-being. My wife doesn't want to be on the hook for my sense of well-being. What she wants, and rightfully so, is for me to find my sense of well-being within, not from her, right? If she's responsible for it, now she's responsible for herself and for me, right? And I don't know about you and your kid situation, but we already have a gaggle of children who look to their mother for well-being. The last thing she needs is me to be tacked on to that group of people who need something from her, right? Neediness is a stinky ass cologne for a man, right? And your wife does not like it. What she needs you to do is start finding out who you are on your own, outside of sexual interest, outside of the affirmation and approval of others, and find it within. And when you find that within, Greg, what's going to happen, I can tell you, is you're going to elevate your confidence, and you're going to go after her as a way of sharing your strength with her. And then you're going to find out, quite contrary to what you believe, your wife likes sex probably quite a bit. What she doesn't like is your neediness. And so when that neediness goes away, because you firmly understand who you are as a man and as a human, you will enjoy the best sex you've ever enjoyed. And I would almost guarantee that, although I don't know your background. So I hope that makes sense. I know that probably pinched a little bit, and don't stay there if it did. Reach out, right? These are all things we can resolve as men. I help guys like you resolve this what's really an identity crisis, not a sex crisis, every day of the week. And I'd love to talk to you about that and get you on the road to understanding who you are and why you have value, worth, and significance, and just seeing how that impacts your marriage. If you'd like to reach out, go to my website, click up in the contact menu, and you'll see a place that you can schedule a free mentoring session, and then we can talk about your life and Hope to talk to you soon, brother.